Theater? I love theater. I think they're probably gonna talk about opera. Let's see how many things I don't know about theater versus the things that I know about theater. Let's learn about the magic of theater! And that is usually always going to be opera. Either operas or musicals, but mostly operas.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. Look at you. Uncultured.
Oh!
Unsophisticated.
Oh!
Middle class.
Oh, I'm cringe, chat. I'm cringe.
No,
We're cringe.
don't speak. You'll just make me throw up. I'd say cover
Okay.
up with this dinner jacket, but I'm afraid that you'd get your head stuck in the sleeve and asphyxiate.
Oh my god.
Listen, lowborn. Don't you want to be refined? Don't you want to be fancy, like moi? That's French. I don't expect you to know what it means, but I have some good news. Before this financial year ends, I have decided to make a charitable deduction.
Oh.
It's you, champ. For
Me?
you see, I...
You can have premarital sex.
There's virus. I have made several
what?
videos, though, which will show you how to bluff your way to the inner circles. Undetected.
Oh.
Yes. By the time the elites find out,
Neon Genesis Evangelion is psychological and intense.
it will be too late. I get you in, you eat all the hors d'oeuvres, and we get out. That's the plan. And let's begin your instruction with... Theater. The YouTube premium of upper society.
That is true.
And the first section? Symphony.
The music. Okay, wow.
The first period of performance, that's called Baroque, from 1600 to
the classic.
1750. This featured Bach and Vivaldi.
Yep.
Now, there was also a guy named Giuseppe Tartini, and he was the best one of them all, because one evening he had a dream where the devil showed up and presented him with a deal. The devil would become his teacher and impart on him everything he knew about music.
How to drop the bass.
Once Tartini had learnt everything he could, he handed over his violin and asked the devil to play. The devil played the greatest musical piece that Tartini had ever heard. Tartini woke up with a gasp, and he tried to recreate what he had heard in the dream. And what he wrote down was his most famous piece, the best thing he had ever written. And he said, "This is shite compared to the original. This is nothing better than a tribute." And that's where you get the Tenacious D song from. He named this piece the Devils Trill. And he claimed that the difference between his version and the version in the dream was so great that he would have smashed his violin and quit music forever.
Wow.
Had he not needed it for his job. Classical, 1750 to
Hell
1840.
yeah, we love the classics.
Mozart and Beethoven show
Yep.
up like da-da-da-da.
Da, 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 da.
Now, Beethoven was famously known for going deaf. Once that happened, everyone told him that he should just quit music forever. But he just wouldn't hear it. Anyway,
Yep.
there's so much I could say about these two. Romantic era. Now that's when everybody started kissing, and it's my favorite. Great piece. Mwah. Oh, you played wonderfully too. Mwah.
You gotta kiss the homies, guys. When one of you like make such an amazing piece, you just gotta kiss them, being like, you did great, buddy. Mwah. Or if they once they finish their entire symphony doing stuff at the piano with the keyboard, you just gotta mwah, you gotta kiss the homies, you know? Gotta treasure your love with the homies with music. Mwah.
We also enjoyed listening. Mwah. Mwah, 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 mwah. All you need to know
Jesus
about
Christ.
this one is Chopin and Berlioz. Berlioz, however, was not getting any kisses.
Damn.
He was relatably, painfully single,
That
living
is-
alone
wow.
in Paris. The city of love.
City of
So
love.
here's how it started.
Slowly.
He's there and he's in his early 20s, and he is looking for a new GF. So one day, he attends a Shakespearean play. And on stage, he spots an actress, and he immediately falls in love with her. He wrote her many notes, confessing his love.
Oh my god. Oh
But
god.
her DMs went unreplied. So he began writing a symphony about her. How can she ignore this? And also around this time, he started smoking a lot of opium. But
Oh,
don't worry about
God.
that. Anyway, so he wrote this piece just
He was so heartbroken that he wasn't getting any DMs. He just started getting... He just started getting... Oh, God.
for her. However, his DM still went unreplied. For several months, he started to get quite disheartened. Until he saw another girl. So he immediately fell in love with her instead, and he said, you know what? I'm going to change that symphony I wrote, so now it's about this other lady, and not about that ugly one that I didn't like anyway.
Sure.
This time, happily, she reciprocated, and they fell in love and were set to marry.
Aw.
Suddenly, what the fuck? Phones haven't been invented yet. Yes, hello, I'm busy. Oh, Rome? To study? Absolutely, I'll catch the first flight out. So Berlioz went to Rome to study.
Wait, I thought you were going to get
However,
married!
while he was away, he got some news.
Berlioz. I have to tell you something.
Sacre bleu. Some other, more handsome musician swooped in and married his girl while he was in Rome, and they ran away together.
Oh my
Berlioz
God!
was furious, and he set his mind to solving the problem. I know what I'm going to do.
He's gonna write a song about heartbreak as a symphony.
I'm gonna murder her
What?
and her lover
What?
and her mom.
Huh?
And then I'm gonna do a self-murder. Alright, so this gets pretty elaborate. His idea is to dress up as a housemaid. He has bought both poison and 2 guns. Now he is going to sneak into the house of his ex-fiancée, and there she and her mother will be sipping tea, which he has already poisoned. Then he will pull off the clothing and reveal himself. Blam, blam, sad overture.
Oh
so
my-
he heads back home to Paris to do it. But while on his travels there, takes quite a while, he has to change carriages. And when he does that, he leaves the guns in one of the little cubbies. So he's lost all his weapons. What is he going to do now? Well, his next leg on the stop is Genoa, and he decides, you know what? Let's just skip the murder and go straight to the finale. So he stops off in the port city of Genoa, and he's there at the side of the Mediterranean.
no!
He pauses for a moment, then he throws himself in.
Actually, no, he was thinking of murder. I should not feel bad.
Now, some people see this whole thing happen, and they think he's had an accident, so they run in to try to save him. They pull him to the shore. He lived. So he has now reached his lowest point. He dejectedly continues home. He gets back to Paris, and he wallows around, feeling pretty sorry for himself.
Oh, damn.
But he decides, you know what? I may as well do what I do best in times of trouble. Smoke a lot of opium.
God damn it.
And while I do that, I shall write a symphony. Although I ain't gonna name it after that hoe who stole my heart. And so he went back to work. But here's the thing. It was the greatest piece he had ever written. And it premiered to a huge crowd. And you know what? It was a smash
Fantastique.
hit. #1 on iTunes.
Wow.
But then, and here's a bloody plot twist. Remember the first girl? Well, she attended that concert, and she realized that Berlioz was a genius. And then she wrote a letter to your boy saying how good your bloody symphony was.
No, it's shot. No, it's shot. The literal first one that ghosted you actually went back to say, hey, I kind of like you after you kind of showed me how good you are with the baton and all that stuff. What the fuck?
And sorry about not replying, I just put my phone down and got super busy or whatever. By the way, I love you. And so Berlioz goes, well, I love you too. And a year later, they were married. There's a beautiful moral of the story. See, fellas, don't jump in the Mediterranean. Anyway, if you...
Your symphony was so bloody good, mate. Hey! Even though we're currently in, France? Gosh.
years later, they got divorced. Because, weirdly, he cheated on his wife with the housemaid.
I'm gonna quit. I quit. I quit. You literally got cheated on and you cheated on back. What the fuck is...
Not that one, a different one. But then he married that housemaid.
What?
Hooray. But then when he died later on, for some reason, he gets buried with both of them. It's kind of strange.
Huh? What?
But moving on to the Impressionist musicians.
Ew!
Now that's Claude de...
Debussy.
The what now?
Debussy.
Claude de what?
Debussy. I'm not even kidding. It is Debussy. That is this. There's a different pronunciation for their name, but it is widely known that is literally Debussy.
You know what? You'd better go to ad time.
God
Alright
damn it.
guys, welcome
Hello,
back to the Nord stream.
Oh.
Today we're playing Assassin's Creed 3.
Oh,
chat,
wow.
Chat, come on, chat. Hey, oh, everyone's spamming Nord in the chat. Whoa, a new follower. Hey,
Wow.
welcome to the Dream Team Sub Cream. Thank you so much for great to see. Oh, unfollowed.
Unfollowed. Wow.
Sorry, guys. The cleaners are here.
Was that Fallout?
Sorry, just ignore the mess. I haven't cleaned up these bottles yet. No, it's just tea. It's just tea. I stream for 10 hours a day. And it's like the algorithm is against me or something. How come everyone is watching Asmon's stream? And I'm not getting any new followers.
God, light mode. Why? You should not have light mode. Turn it off. Stop. Stop. Oh God.
Playing the games.
Maybe it's because
What
you use
more do
light
you
mode.
want me to do?
Ah.
Just a quick word from the sponsor, NordVPN is the VPN that you can trust. So go to nordvpn.com/internethistorian for a huge deal on a 2-year plan plus 4 bonus months for free, plus a 30-day money-back guarantee. My God.
Wow.
Today we are gonna be watching the new Snow White movie. I love the intro. Oh, I love seeing that Disney logo. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Guys, I'm just gonna get up and get some food. I'll be back. I'll be back in a minute. Who reported my stream? Hello, my Nordlings. Welcome back to the stream. Can we get some ends in the chat, guys? No, not like that. Mods! Welcome back to the
Oh my God.
ASMR stream.
The trash in their room is just getting bigger and bigger.
Today
They're jumping in so much content.
a can of Coke.
Jesus
while
Christ.
say the
I
word
don't like
Nord.
ASMR. Please. Move on. Move on!
Nord. Hey, thank you for the tier 3 sub. With NordVPN, I can be outside my house, Jack's Film's house, Samito's house, Ordinary Things' house. Just like that. Welcome back to the hot tub stream.
Oh my
What do
God.
you guys mean? How many hot dogs can I put in my
Oh
mouth?
my
What?
God. Oh my, what is that Valley Girl accent like? Oh my God, guys, we're just out here having to just drink some wine while in here having to be in a hot tub. Like, oh my God, I can't.
Hey, I'll just... Oh my God, $5,000 donation. Thank you so much. You guys are such good friends. Streaming's not for me. I'd rather go to nordvpn.com/internethistorian to get a huge deal on a 2-year plan, plus 4 months for free.
Wow.
Ad over.
Add over. Oh, hi, Netflix. How you doing? Are you watching Richard?
Watching
Oh, God!
Netflix, are you? All tucked in with a 3-hour essay on Good Game Good, and here's why.
Fallout New Vegas is actually the only based Bethesda game.
Turn that off. I've got something for you much less enjoyable and far more expensive. We're going to the theater. Theater, from the ancient Greek 𝓯𝓻𝓮𝓪𝓴𝓲𝓮𝓼𝓽, the most dramatic of the Transformers. It means a place for viewing. Here's a Roman theater. They were quite simple back then. You have the stage, the auditorium, and the vomitorium. Now, for a very long time, people thought that the vomitorium was a place where the Romans would gorge themselves, where they would eat so much that they would throw up, and then gorge themselves again because they were so decadent and or bulimic. But it comes from the word vomir, which means to spew forth, because that's where people go in and out. So vomitorium is just a dramatic way of saying the entrance. Now, if you skip forward to the 1800s, things are getting a lot more modernized. But they still didn't have electric, so they had what's called the limelight. And that's why they say, to be in the limelight, to be the star of the show. What they would do was take a piece of quicklime and heat it up super, super hot, which will naturally glow very bright.
Oh!
They would then take reflective mirrors and lenses to focus the beam, and they would use that as an early form of the spotlight.
Ooh.
The limelight is not because it's green, but because it's made from quicklime. In the modern day, things are a lot more advanced, and they can do all sorts of cool shit with like lasers going into your eyeballs and all sorts of stuff. But it's not just the tech that's had an upgrade, it's the architecture as well.
My eyes!
In Elizabethan times, they had the yard, and you could get in here for about a penny apiece. And this is where all the poor people stood to watch the shows.
Oh.
It's like when you go to Oppenheimer and you end up with the worst seats in the IMAX theater, right?
Oh, God.
But thankfully, in modern times, we have fixed that problem.
Yay!
We kicked out all the poor people and we sunk the floor down low and put in an orchestra pit. Now, these things are usually 6 to 12 feet deep, so they're not obstructing the audience's view. But having a giant hole at the end of a stage is quite dangerous.
Oh my
So
God!
usually they put a big net there as well. And yet, a lot of people...
Do they not have like, God, what's the word for it? But like they practice to make sure that their footing doesn't go off the stage. Do they not have those? What the heck? They should have those footings. They should have the markers of like, you cannot go here. Is a stage like not that big? What?
Still get...
Oh God.
Like a lot of people. In 2011, during a production of The Sound of Music, one of the lead actresses fell into the orchestra pit and was left paralyzed from the waist down. In 2009, a conductor, not a superconductor, just a regular one, fell 14 feet into the dark pit and broke 9 vertebrae and 1 ankle.
Oh my
Mamma
God.
mia. And he fell on his pointy conducting thing.
Oh.
At the Balloy Theater, a violinist died from his injuries after falling into the pit. This theater is prone to all sorts of accidents, by the way. It's kind of cursed. But performers and musicians aren't the only ones falling into the pit. In 1988, an 82-year-old man fell from his balcony box seating all the way down into the pit during a performance of Macbeth. He died. Very spooky. Even already dead people are getting pitted. In 2016, a man sprinkled his friend's ashes into the orchestra pit at the Met Theatre. This happened during the intermission, and it was a sort of tribute to a mentor of his. But of course, people went, "What the hell are you doing?" And he goes, "Oh, I don't know," and he flees the scene. Everyone's coughing and sneezing up dead guy, and people think, is this anthrax? What is this? So they call in the anti-terrorism police, and the whole show is cancelled for the rest of the evening.
Maybe theater is not fun,
A
Chad.
quick intermission.
Oh God. You throwing ashes to me? What?
Or is it? Ooh, fiddle-tee-dee, I am the trap master. Not like that. Do not ask me to reveal my secrets, woman. I have dedicated my life to the mysteries of the theater. Ah, the theater. She has so many enigmatic traps.
Da, 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 da. Oh.
Let us start with the most simple, yet devious. The wall trap. It allows the actor to walk directly into the set piece. Where did he go? Nobody knows. Cast your eyes over here to the genie trap. Now the victim stands on this dumbwaiter, and a counterweight launches their hapless body up onto the stage. Whoosh!
Oh, God!
In the olden days, this circle of flaps would sometimes go on top, and then that would make the whole thing just one way. Now, back when they made this thing, they didn't have hydraulics. So instead, they'd have like 6 stagehands pulling as fast as they could. And sometimes it would go totally wonky, or it wouldn't open properly, or they'd only get about halfway through.
Oh, God!
Oh, well, I guess that's it. There's only 2. Wrong! This is the vampire trap. And if I want to come back up again, this is called the sunroof trap. Very cool. Watch out for the closing doors on this one. It managed to trap Spider-Man's foot back into production in 2013.
Oh, God!
Me and the Green Goblin, we collabed on this one.
Oh, Oh god, you know what? This is one of the things that I'm scared of with theater, is because if you actually don't look after yourself, you're gonna actually hurt yourself. Either you go down to the pit, or you break a leg and never have that recovered ever again.
All right, there's one more. The Ghost Glide. What you do is stand on this slidey bit, and it ascends diagonally, which makes it look like he's coming out of the ground. But the ladies, they're yawning, they're going, ooh, short ghost. But then, 5 foot, 5'1", 5'2". All the ladies are turning their heads now. 5'3", 5'4", 5'5". All the ladies are loving it. Now, I bet you're wondering, what happens to the actors when they go down these traps? Are they dead and gone forever? Yes, sometimes. In 1888, Frederick Federi was playing the role of Mephistopheles in Faust at the Princess Theatre in Melbourne. As he descended the trap at the end of the play, goodbye, everybody, goodbye, he had a heart attack and died.
First, we're literally breaking a leg. It's not even a good job anymore. It's literally, I mean, break a leg means good luck, but I feel like literally breaking a leg is, what?
Never seen again. So as you can imagine, with this many deaths, the theatre has become a highly haunted place.
Jesus Christ, the rats.
Oh, yes. In fact, sometimes you can put your ear right up to the wall and you can hear 2 male ghosts wrestling. Can't fake that.
Wrestling, you say? 2 male ghosts wrestling. Ah,
another ghost hole.
oh my god!
Don't look inside. I did once. Almost went blind. That's why I wear the mask. Anyway, because of all the ghosts, the theatres do whatever they can to keep the spirits happy. See this? It's called a ghost light. When everything is closed, it is kept on always. Kept on for the ghosts, so that they don't, bump their shins in the dark or whatever. At the Palace Theatre in London, there has been some ghostly activity.
It seems to be a bit of a hotspot for ghostly activities.
And that's why they always keep 2 empty seats at the back, so that the ghosts may sit there and watch the show.
So that's why we traditionally kept a couple of seats off sale for the ghosts. However, Harry Potter is so popular that we sell those seats now.
Oh. Also, most theatres close for 1 day per week, and on those days, the ghosts are left to perform for each other in their own shows, which they like.
Oh, now I get it as to why, like, whenever there's always theater, there's always going to be limelight. There's always just the light shining down the entire theater. I think it's because of the superstition, or honestly, if it actually does get haunted, it makes sense. It's seeing the amount of deaths there is in theater. Jesus Christ.
Like, we think.
I was worried about my own vagina. It
Oh,
needed a
finally,
context
the vagina monologue.
Oh my god.
of other vaginas.
You know, I wasn't always part of the elite. In fact, from a very young age, I grew up in an orphanage.
Oh my god, this is a story of them being
my parents
humbled?
weren't dead. Rent in that building
Never
was just
mind.
really cheap. But my parents showed me no affection. And as soon as they could, they sent me off to boarding school. But boards were always their passion, not mine. I tried to run away, but they caught me. And boy, did they throw the book at me. Alas, I did not dodge in time. I spent the next few years in a coma. A Native American town, Pueblo, Aoma.
Huh?
And the people there taught me how to read American. They also had a local library, and I spent my days buried in books, learning as much as I
The
could about
ninja
the
way!
arts. And once someone noticed me buried under those books, and they rescued me, I knew I wanted to teach default character presets like yourselves, all about Shakespeare. Editor's note. I started Googling Shakespeare and I got kind of distracted, so I don't know. Here's a WAV file. You can do something with this. Put him in like a classroom or something. All right, attention, everybody. I am your new teacher. You are a bunch of troubled inner city youths. All you know is shoot gun, fail test, and crime. But I'm here to teach you that actually books and reading and stuff are actually pretty epic after all. Now, the earliest known written language is what, Mr. Single Parent Household? I don't know, Teach, but you're never going to get through to me. Oh, really? Well, what if
is
I
this a
go
role play?
back in time? Back in time. In the long, long ago, very few could read. But to be fair, most of the
Mesopotamia.
written languages were kinda shit. This is cuneiform, the very first written language. And it has far too much punctuation. Then eventually came along the Egyptians, and they invented emojis, but they would call them hieroglyphs. Anyway, the typical written thing would go like this. Message for you, sir. Big bird, man with stick, man sitting, circle. Oh, more bills. Eventually that became quite annoying, so the Phoenicians, who were a kind of Lebanese, very progressive, especially for those days. Now, they came up with a better idea. They started going, hey, that sounds a bit like an A. Buh, that sounds a bit like a B. Kuh, and so on and so on, until we had a proto-form of the alphabet. Now, the Greeks thought that was pretty neato, but they said, let's come up with an even better version with 22 letters, and soon that will be like English. Oral history. Greeks more like geeks. Got 'em.
Oh my God.
Yeah? Well, let me tell you about something highly relatable. Of the surviving Greek works, the greatest hits were the Iliad and the Odyssey. Now, because most people couldn't read, this stuff wasn't written down for a very long time, and instead it was memorized and performed.
Yes.
And when they performed it, they used one of these, a lyre. Now, this was great for conveying tone, right? So here's a soft bit, doo-doo-doo, but then this is a big dramatic bit. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Now, the Iliad starts with this guy, Menelaus, king of Sparta, and he has a wife, Helen, and she is a very fine lady. And then the Prince of Troy shows up. His name is Paris, and he goes, "Damn, shorty, awooga, awooga." Hey, that's what he'd say, right? And he and his boys abduct her and took her all the way back to his crib in Troy. Now this makes Menelaus quite miffed.
Hey, hold on there, Buster.
He declares a turf war, but he can't win it alone, so he calls on his homies. Odysseus, king of Ithaca, and Achilles, the best drive-by shooter of all time. But Achilles is not in the mood to fight, so the whole of the Iliad is basically spent trying to convince this guy to get involved.
Please?
No.
Please?
No.
Please, no. Please, no. Yeah, well, fucking blame fucking Agamemnon for that, man. After that, then blame Hector. Well, actually, don't blame Hector. Actually, Hector was the reason why they won in the first place, but you know what I mean.
Eventually, they win the turf war by being very sneaky. They make a giant horse, which is the symbol of Troy, and they leave it at the front gate. That's their way of saying, "Oh, I guess you win. We're walking away now." And meanwhile, thousands of soldiers go off and hide in some bushes. Now, the Trojans are very suspicious, but they can see that the Greek ships are actually sailing away into the horizon. So they know, oh, it must be real, must be real. We've won the many years war.
Yay! Woohoo!
But actually, there's almost no one on those ships, and there's a surprise inside the horse. Later that night, when everyone's asleep, boiling hot tzatziki everywhere. And also some soldiers wearing thermal protection. They get out and they open the gates, and then everyone comes out of the bushes, running into the city, and kill everybody.
Yep.
After they win the war, Odysseus heads back home to Ithaca. However, on his way, he starts making beef with Poseidon, god of the sea. And Poseidon is mad at the disrespect, so he sends Odysseus on a long-ass detour, and that detour is the story of the Odyssey.
Yep.
Pretty epic, right, kids? Whoa, Teach, that's fire. I'm starting to come around. That Odysseus guy is literally me.
Oh
yeah, I'm gonna try that horse trick on my ops. Homer, from Homer's Odyssey, is not a character in the story. He's the guy who tells the story, and then people wrote it down. Now, moving chronologically to the next big one, you've got the Bible.
Oh, wow.
And for all practical purposes, this was basically an oral tradition too. Most people were illiterate by this point, and the Bible was written in Latin, and pretty much only the clergy knew Latin, so they would be the one to recite it to people.
It says that the cute lady at the front should go on a date with me, please. Listen, the rules are the rules. I didn't say it. The
Oh,
book.
God.
There was a translated version into English, the Wycliffe's Bible.
What the The world of ye, Lord, yide, of ye, upon. What olden English is this? What? Han alone would ye lied cleep of a you ye wag. I'm done.
Bible. And you better believe that thing was a threat to the order. So they made that illegal to own.
What?
And if you were found with an unlicensed copy, the punishment would be death. So it remained. The Bible was read to the people. Now, by the 1300s came Chaucer, who wrote the Canterbury Tales, and that was a pretty big deal.
Get this book now.
Because it's one of the first significant works written in Middle English.
Ooh.
It describes a bunch of people making a pilgrimage from Southwark to Canterbury, which is here to here, which was the longest journey anyone had ever made in the 1300s. And now, it's a whole series of stories, and most of them can be boiled down to, how come if everyone is on a pilgrimage, you're all so focused on material stuff? Oh, hypocrites much? Dong. It's now the 1600s, and they've updated all the textbooks from Middle English to regular.
Ye
In
old shop to
1601,
thee, old
King
shop.
James I said, all right, you know what? Let's everyone have a copy of the Bible they can read. Let's do a King James Bible. I won't feature in it, but I'd love to be in the title. And he commissioned a committee of scholars to rewrite the thing in English.
Yay!
God's language. It took 8 years. And that brings us to Shakespeare. And he's a huge deal. Oh, look, we're out of time. But sir, we're supposed to do penis inspection day today.
Huh?
No, there's no time. Roll the end card. The end. All right, that's the lesson. You watched the whole video. Or at least
Really?
you had it on in the background while you scrolled your phone. And I couldn't be prouder of you.
They were having a pee-pee inspection? What? And then they didn't talk about Shakespeare, but Shakespeare, like, gave so much of the theater, though.
There's just
What?
one more quick thing I want to tell you about. Theater props. For example, this gun. Now, the thing... Oh, look who it is. I know what you're thinking, but it's just an actor. We all know that the real Lincoln is dead. You know, when he fell asleep on the tracks of the Underground Railroad. Anyway, this thing is super realistic. Although the trigger is a little loose. Ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh, Shaggy!
Oh, I can't believe you did that. But I won't tell anyone. And, in fact, good news. I'm gonna make you my little protege. And I will be your proto-jo. And I got so many more lessons to teach.
Why is it in both videos you had to bury a body?
Still here.
He has to also clean the blood stain!
Yes, just a little cleaning. More good news. Next video is almost done. It'll be on incognito mode, and it's about the arts. And the next main channel video is also nearly done. That'll be out shortly after. If you're looking for more content in the meanwhile, we have another channel called Story Mode. The Metal Gear Solid and Forspoken videos are especially good. Don't forget NordVPN. Thank you for watching. More soon.
Very, very informative indeed. Thank you, sir. There is still more to learn about the theater, but sadly we will not be learning Shakespeare today. I guess we'll probably learn Shakespeare on another day. I did not know there were that many accidents in the theater, but now I am scared to step on a stage in the theater. Ah! Everybody say goodbye to YouTube. Say bye-bye, YouTube. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you guys. you guys on another time when I'm going to react to other things as well. I don't know, maybe I'll react to another fan fiction thing. Maybe I'll react to an animation. Who knows? You can drop in the comments of what you guys want me to react next, and we'll go from there. All right, bye, YouTube.